Right, good day. So you're a Windows user and you're thinking about moving over to Linux. Well, today's video, I'm going to just discuss that a little bit. Okay, so basically, you looking at Linux and you thinking, no, but there's way too many options and choice. I mean, there's desktop environments, there's window managers, there's different distributions, there's different repositories to grab different apps and things from. It's like just chaos, okay? And for a lot of people, I feel like that would be a killer. Like that would be the sort of arrow to the knee, if you will, where you just say, no, you know what, I'll stay with Windows. So choice should not be a bad thing. We know that as humans, too much choice is definitely a bad thing. So what I would recommend to you is just go with something like Cinnamon. Okay, let's have a look at Cinnamon. Um, Cinnamon is the desktop environment, particularly made for Linux Mint. So actually, what I'm saying is rather just start with Linux Mint. A lot of people say, oh no, Ubuntu or Pop OS or all of those things, but as a Windows user, you're used to certain layouts. Now have a look at these little pictures, right? You're used to certain layouts. Let me zoom this a little bit. You're used to this sort of traditional Windows layout, and there's a lot of arguments and a very valid point being made online about why this sort of traditional Windows layout kind of vibe is not ideal. It's not as productive. You can get away with a lot more, keyboard shortcuts and floating docks and submenus and a whole bunch of other stuff. But my point is, never ever feel pressured into anything when you move over to Linux. Okay, Linux is about you doing what works for you. So have a look at my system. I've been using Linux for a long time, but I don't like GNOME. I don't like that GNOME environment. I like KDE. I love KDE. And one of the points I've made, one of my previous, one of my subscribers actually asked me like, why do you like KDE so much? And I'm like, well, it kind of reminds me of Windows. I grew up with Windows, and it's just I know sort of where things are, how it works mostly. I mean, settings menu as well. You know, it's just very nice and easy. It's just laid out nicely. I don't really have to worry too much even about keyboard shortcuts, although I can, get keyboard shortcuts. And I do use the keyboard shortcuts. But as someone coming from Windows, just go with Linux Mint, try it out, see if you can find software that's free and open source that works for you, that replaces your proprietary software that you might be using. And if you don't, see if you can get your proprietary software working with things like Bottles, Wine, Steam, Proton, Lutris, all those things. There's many guides, but my point is, you don't have to be afraid of choice when it comes to Linux. You can choose something that's made for, people to be easy to use, and it just works. Okay, so Linux Mint has 3 different desktop environment options. Cinnamon is made specifically for Linux Mint and by the team, so that one will probably be the best option for you. However, all 3 of these, the Mate and the XFCE, all 3 of them will have a familiar feel because of where the buttons are by default and where the clicking things are by default. It'll be very familiar to Windows. And part of making a huge change, is trying to do it gradually. So moving operating systems is a huge change. So if you do it gradually, you're less likely to give up, and you're more likely to push through and actually just make it a permanent change. So that's all I want to tell you today is please don't feel threatened about all the choice. And I'm not going to go to the subreddit because of reasons, but don't feel threatened by all the choice that you have and the different desktop environments, and all these things. But go check out this video if you are interested in customization of Linux. There's a whole bunch. The subreddits, because of the whole Reddit thing, is not really going lacquer these days. But But anywho's, so that's it from me. If you do like the video, please leave a like and a comment. I would greatly appreciate it. Check out some of my other videos. I cover a lot of Linux type stuff, but I don't really go overboard in terms of, oh no, you have to do this and you have to do that. Also a lot of gaming stuff. Yes, I actually game on Linux. So do check out some of my other videos. If you dislike the video, please dislike and also tell me why. Leave it down in the comments below. And yeah, do check also in the description a Discord link for Discord server. Not specifically Linux related, but in general, just kind of a fun place to hang out and talk about stuff. More like a learning type place for interesting things. And what else? Oh yeah, donation link as well. I would love to upgrade my GPU to something a little bit newer. So if you'd like to contribute and help me out with that, please see the PayPal donation link below. That's it for me. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.